Always follow the path and it would lead you to the unknown. That's the end of the road there. Good morning. Here we are. Another video. I am here at another mission here in San Antonio, Texas. What I want to show you here is something that it's very interesting. You know, people ask, where do they get the material to build all these missions so close together, pretty much in one general area, which is the south side of San Antonio, Texas. Well, this here is a quarry where a lot of material was dug out by the Native Americans to build these stone missions. We see here a piece of stone, large piece of stone. I'm sure it was a lot larger than what I see today. No doubt, it was probably acres and acres of quarry, because to build these missions, it took a lot of material, a lot of work, a lot of stone. But not many people know about this spot here. So this is what I want to show on this video, because I think it's a very important piece of the puzzle when it comes to how the missions were built back in the late 1600s, early 1700s. Many people drive by and they can see the mission, but you can't really see where I'm at now, because this is actually below street level. As you can see there, you see a house, you see the streets, and people usually just drive in and then they head towards the mission, and they bypassed this important piece of history here. It's very nice, very peaceful. Let me give you a better shot here of what's left of the quarry. You know, hundreds, possibly thousands of Native Americans within these quarry walls, just breaking rock all day. The laborers, you know, not only breaking the rock, and then you had the more skilled workers that would come and get these rocks, and then they would have to mold them by hand with chisel. You know, symmetrically make them square so they can lay them like we lay bricks today. So it took a lot of work and a lot of skill. And after just doing that for many months, possibly years, then they get to work. Then the skilled workers would come and start building what we see today. And I'm going to show you in a bit the results of what these amazing people, what they did with their hands 300 years ago. Just to imagine that in today's society, today's mentality, you have to think there's no way. But they did it, and they weren't the only ones to do it, but we had that skill here in South Texas, and the proof still stands. There you go. This is Mission Concepcion. Let me get closer. I hope y'all can hear me. It's pretty windy today. Cool front came in last night, and the wind's still blowing. perfect weather as far as I'm concerned. I really do appreciate this kind of cool weather. I've been to South Texas my whole life, and summer is not something that I look forward to. It's just, it gets too hot sometimes, and then when you mix in the humidity, it's just not a good mix for me. But today is a good day. Now, here it is, Mission Concepcion. What's unique about this one mission, it's the smallest one. Compared to the Alamo, it's the smallest one. The Alamo and this mission are the two smallest ones from the other three. Out of the five, you have Mission Alamo, which we all know about that one downtown. And then I'm literally, I want to say, just minutes from the Alamo. You head south. This mission is the closest mission to downtown San Antonio outside the Alamo. And what's unique about this mission, even though it is a small mission, as you can see, everything I'm showing you right now is pretty much all that's left. Like the other missions, it was a compound. It was surrounded by tall walls, and it was fortified. It was protected by Spanish soldiers from raids from Native Americans that refused Spanish life, that refused to be Christianized. They wanted to maintain their culture. They wanted to keep that going, which were the Lipan Apaches, Comanches. They would attack these missions and make it over the walls, and many were killed. There's a lot of life lost to maintain these missions. With this mission here, what's different from the other missions is this: what you're looking at here is what was built 300 years ago. This mission has never been restructured. It has never collapsed. Those bell towers, the front facade around the doors, all that is the original work of the Native Americans. It's the oldest unrestored church in the United States, and it still operates today as a parish, and they have services every Sunday. And during Christmas, they have their masses, there's weddings. Just like any other active church today, these missions, exceptions for the Alamo, they are still active. Another thing that's makes this spot unique is that Teddy Roosevelt and his Rough Riders, they used to train not too far from here. I believe it was down that way. They had a training camp. And I'm going to kind of give you I'm going to span the 380 here just to show you the spot. Now here, there's an area there, what I'll show you in a minute. It's just a prayer spot for people that want to come and pray, because again, this is a Catholic church. A lot of spiritual people in this area, this side of town, and people do come there. Let me get closer. Doing some research on this mission, just like all the others, it was abandoned, it was closed. After, the New Republic of Texas, once the Texians took over, they used these missions for private residence, whatever they could use as rooms. A lot of them use them as farm animals, to store their farm animals inside these walls. And there is the main Noria, which is the water well. And whatever mission you go to, they all have them. There was one that was pretty much in the same location in the Alamo. And I believe researchers believe that the Alamo was supposed to look very similar to this one. It was supposed to be a double bell tower, but it was never completed. They only went up so much, and then it was abandoned It was never completed, but it was supposed to look similar to this mission here, which I can kind of see that. Another historical fact about this place is Jim Bowie took refuge here, and during the whole thing with Mexico and Texas, where the Texians were trying to take this part of Mexico for themselves, to reestablish laws that Mexico had abolished back in the 1820s, slavery being the main one. The Texians did not like that. They did not like the fact that many had come in to Mexico with their slaves to put them to work and make money, with the lands that they were obtaining here in Mexico. And when Mexico decided to set slaves free in 1829, a lot of tension was created because those were not the plans of the Americans when they got here, to release their slaves that they had purchased or probably stolen, knowing that they were coming into another country. And now they had to set them free or pay them. And that was not going to happen. Of course, we all know the story. But anyways, during that time, Jim Bowie and his troops were either camped here or they took refuge here. But let me show you. Down that way, you can't see it from here, but if you follow that road there, San Antonio River is down that way. According to the research, Mexicans were set up over there, and Bowie and his men were set up around here somewhere, and the firing started. I believe a few Texians were shot, a couple killed. Mexicans, several were killed. So there was a little battle here. There's not too much that you can really read up on it here. You would have to go into, the Texas history. And then there you have your little, it's like a library. You can buy some books, restrooms. I really don't like that they've done that. They put something like that's pretty much just feet away from the mission. I just think it takes away from it. But anyways, San Jose is another one that has even a larger one. These are ruins here of rooms that used to be here. Pretty neat though to see it like this. It's been like this ever since I've been coming here since I was a small child, and nothing's changed. I mean, there's pictures of me as a small boy along these walls, me and my brothers and sisters, my cousins. It's like a playground for us when we were small. It's a beautiful little mission. Look at these doors. It goes to show you how people don't really mess with these missions, because if they did, there'd be an iron gate here to protect from anyone kicking these doors in, but that hasn't happened. And again, if you've been to the Alamo, if you kind of walk around the Alamo inside and the back of it, it looks very similar. And again, they said that the Alamo was supposed to look very similar to this mission. Look at these doorways. Look how narrow they are. Should give you a peek on the inside. Now that painting that you see up on the ceiling and the border along the walls there, around the doors, look at that over there. That's supposed to be the original. It's not replicated. It wasn't repainted. It was just when the walls were cleaned, that's what was underneath of hundreds of years. And that's supposed to be all the original work. that the natives and skilled painters did to beautify this church. And you can feel the temperature just much cooler in here. High ceilings. Now I'm coming into the rear of the mission. There's the bell towers. They've been standing strong for over 300 years. That's amazing. They, not too long ago, right here where I'm standing, they excavated all this whole area. And supposedly they found artifacts. That's why you see this concrete patch here. But this whole area was excavated, and they found pretty cool things. And I'm sure they're going to display it, if not already, somewhere in one of these missions. Probably the Alamo. You know, that's the numero uno here in San Antonio is the Alamo. Check this place out right here. Look at this. When I was a kid, you used to be able to run up those stairs. And up in the second floor is what they call the convento, with the priests. It was their quarters. But when I was a kid, man, we used to run up these stairs all the way up there and look out the window and just have fun. Now you got a gate with a lock. I was told that if you can request to go up there, and they might let you up there, but you got to get someone with the key. I'm sure there's reasons for that now. I'm going to go ahead and walk in, and I'm going to speak a little softer. Look at that. Again, it's all original work that's been preserved. And you come in here, you can just smell the wood, the cedar. Well, we're going to way into the church, so I'm not going to say much. I'm just going to film. Just look how beautiful the colors are. I'm not going to make my way into the church. There's people there that are in silent prayer with their Lord and Jesus, and I am not going to disturb that. But you did see a little bit of the church. It's beautiful. I highly recommend you make a stop here. It's not a very big mission, but the beauty of it certainly stands out above the other missions. I'm going to come into, I believe this was areas where they would dine. We're back in this room, but now I'm on the other side of it. Look at the shelving over there, made out of stone. Those shelves are made out of pure stone. Look at those doors. This is actually my favorite part of the mission. It's this porch, this patio, whatever you want to call it. I remember when I was a kid, I said, I'm going to have a house that's going to have a porch just like this. So let me go ahead and show it to you. Look at that. Isn't that beautiful? Look at the brickwork. Now, I don't know why this door, I don't know if you can tell, but this door is literally like 5 foot. The overhead is about 5 foot from the ground. Pretty short. I'm going to have to duck to go through that door. We're coming right up to the front of the church. Beautiful church. Now, just like all the other churches, all the other missions here, they all have that beautiful artwork around the doors. But as you can see, this one here, sadly, it's been deteriorated pretty bad. I mean, you can barely make out what once was, at least at arm's reach. Once you get higher, then you can see the beautiful work. Again, this is all original. What we see today is what they saw 300 years ago. Whoever visited, whoever built it. But once you get within arm's reach, you can see the deterioration of what was there. And it's usually due to people climbing, touching. You know, the oil on your fingers causes damage. But you can still make out some of it, like right here. You see, you know. Then it gets a little clearer as you get higher. A lot of back in the 1850s and 1960s, the military used to camp at these missions that were pretty much abandoned at that time. And it was reported that a lot of them used to use this artwork as target practice. And it is said that some of these holes you see here are bullet holes from that time. Military, I guess they get bored. They stand out there and shoot whatever was up there. You find evidence of that at the Alamo. You find evidence of that at San Jose. You know, where military would just post up there for a few days to rest and camp out, and for fun, that's what they would do. But luckily, no real damage was done to the structure itself. Going around the mission now. And this is pretty much it pertaining to the mission itself. Like several of the other missions, there's your dome. One of the bell towers, beautiful. I don't know if you've noticed, but it's pretty quiet out here, even though we're not surrounded by walls. I mean, you can hear landscapers and a little bit of traffic. I'm not too far from Highway 90, about 2 blocks away from Highway 90 on Mission Road. So you can hear some of the 18-wheelers going by sometimes, but for the most part, it is very quiet out here. Trying not to fall as I'm walking backwards to give you a better shot of the mission itself, the church and the towers. But again, coming out to visit these missions, it don't cost you nothing, not a dime. If you are visiting San Antonio, if you are staying in a hotel, either downtown, south of town, north of town, these missions, unlike doing anything downtown, it's not going to cost you anything. They do have a donation box if you'd like to donate to help preserve and maintain these missions. But if you do not have that, it's no worries, because they're not going to charge you to come and visit these beautiful gems on the south side of San Antonio, Texas. Parking lot is right over there. Free parking, free parking, free entry. All these missions are open from from 8 p.m. to 5 p.m. 7 days a week. I believe they're only closed on Christmas and New Year's Day. This is Mission Concepcion. Mission Concepcion, the oldest unrestored mission still active today in the United States. That's pretty cool as far as I'm concerned. And if you can make it out here on a day like today, oh, even better. We're about 60 degrees, crisp, cool wind, not too cold, not hot at all. They don't recommend you do that, let your kids climb on any structures or water wells. But as a parent, I understand. Anyways, so this is a property here. Down that way, there's a park where I mentioned earlier, the river's down that way. Real nice park, picnic tables. You can also park over there and make your way this way. We're not too far from town. It's funny because if I was to get on the bicycle and head north back into town, I'd probably be there in 10 minutes, 15 at the most. And that's how close we are. So if you're bicycling downtown and you got the energy and the strength to go farther, make it down this way. This is the closest mission to town. And then down that way, which is Mission Road, this road connects you to the next mission, which is Mission San Jose. I haven't done a video on that one, but I'm planning on doing that one. That's the biggest mission that we have. That's the one that you definitely got to go see, because you're going back in time when you walk inside the walls of Mission San Jose. So I don't know if you can see, but you see the traffic heading that way. That road there takes you to the next mission, San Jose. And from San Jose, on the same road, it will connect you to the following mission, which is San Juan. And then from San Juan, you will be connected to the final and farthest mission of town, Espada. Which, if from town to Espada on a bicycle, you're looking at about maybe a 45-minute ride. On a car, 10-minute drive from downtown. And again, these missions are free. They do not charge you. And there's always free parking and plenty of parking. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you have any questions, if you'd like to add anything that I didn't mention today, feel free. If you enjoyed the video, subscribe. I am planning on making more videos, things that pertain to Texas history. This is my state. San Antonio is my city. My family goes back generations, even before it was Mexico. My family has been under 3 flags: Spain, Mexico, and the United States. So this is my home, and these are where my roots are. And that's why I make these videos, because I just want to share the beauty that we do have here in San Antonio, especially in this part of town. So with that, I'll say God bless, enjoy your day, and happy spring break to all.